So here we are. And yes, indeed, so many people on my show have asked me, Alpha, why don't you explore this subject yet? And in all honesty, it's something that, you know, I'm like, oh, speak about flat earth, and oh, that's where so many people are still awake in this journey and they still reject the notion of flat earth. So take it away.
We all have the same story. When we first heard about it, we were like, oh, that's ridiculous. I'm not looking at that. You're an idiot. And that's the programming. The programming is so strong. And then people jump right to, well, why the lie? Why would they lie? I still have to go to work tomorrow. We all said that. You guys probably might have said that. I'm not sure, but everyone has that same thing. And then when you really look into it, and we'll get into it at some point in this discussion, you find out this is the most important lie. This is how they've gotten away with all of the nonsense that's going on in the world. Because when you're spinning out of control, lost in space, and think that you're an insignificant speck in the middle of nothingness, that nothing exploded and created everything, and then a monkey farted and made a human, you are lost. You have no power, and you don't take back, you don't. The bottom line is, we are the many, they are the few. We are the powerful, they are nothing. The only power they have over us is in our imagination. And that's what they're hiding. That's why they're lying about the shape of the earth. It's not the shape, it's the lie that matters.
Oh yeah. The more and more we're traveling through science and metaphysics, we're learning quantum, and we're learning how thoughts really do influence everything. So it would make sense they would go to the root and at the very beginning, alter your reality at its core. Now, from your studies, what's their purpose in doing so? Take away your power. And for them, when did this start? Because there's so much historical references to it. So when did it begin? When did they start covering this up?
You ready? You ready for my answer?
Yeah. I think
less than 100 years ago.
Yep.
Oh.
Right? Yeah. All of these guys are made up fictional stories, in my opinion. Okay. They're all made up. Aristophanes, he didn't show up until into any of our books until the mid 1900s. He discovered the shape of the earth 2,000 years ago, but he didn't show up in any books until the mid 1900s. He was a real person, supposedly, but the idea of his experiment, the sticks and shadows, didn't show up until the mid 1900s. All of this is nonsense. I just met a guy. I've been in Mexico for a couple of weeks, and I met a guy 74, 76, somewhere around there. And he said in the 1960s, he was taught flat earth in school here in America. Okay. And you guys have seen my interview with Ruth, right?
I don't know.
Ruth, in February 2020, I interviewed a 102-year-old woman about the World's Fairs, because she had a great memory. And while I was talking to her, her memory was so good. I said, where'd you go to school? She told me the name of the school, the kids, the teachers, everything. And I was like, I could barely do that. And I said, what did they teach you in science about the earth? Never mentioning flat earth. And she goes, they taught me the earth was flat, but then they changed it some years later. Okay. And then we found newspaper articles. We talked to other people, had the same story. Matter of fact, this was in February 2020, just before the nonsense started. And this video went viral, and where everyone was like, I'm going to go to a nursing home. I got, like, everyone go to nursing homes. We need to talk to people that are over 100 years old that still have their marbles. And boom, all nursing homes are closed. Nobody can go.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So I may be responsible for the lockdown of all the nursing homes in the world. Maybe, or maybe it was just a coincidence. I don't know.
No, I mean, you do have that kind of pull. That is crazy, bro. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And her conviction sounded pretty proper and strong when she said, they taught us it was flat.
Right. No, and then I told her, and she broke down crying. She was like, you could see her heart open up. She's like, I've always known, and it doesn't make any sense. And again, when you start looking into this and stuff, and here's something we just discussed the other day on the Triple Truth podcast. Maybe Santa Claus is a new lie also. Maybe Santa Claus was introduced at the same time as part of the lie. Like, I actually want to go visit her and ask her, when she was a kid, did she have Santa Claus?
Yeah. That's a great question to ask, because check it. Here's my theory so far brewing. If it was in the last 100 years, it has to be that once, for example, Admiral Byrd discovered outside of it, then they said, "Uh-oh, now we have to shape a lie. Now let's tell them it's round. Now let's tell them there's an up and a bottom, and let's put Santa at one of those locations and trick them right when they're born, right when they're young." Right. You think that's when they started doing it, to keep us from ever wanting to go out there?
You know, they're magicians. You know, the people that founded our world, our NASA. You know, we got Hubbard, we got Disney, Werner von Braun, Jack Parsons, Alistair McCrowley. Alistair, is that Alistair Crowley? Crowley. So these are the people that funded NASA. They're magicians. They're wizards, right? So I had a good point and I lost it. What was it?
Oh, we were talking Admiral Byrd, and then did they create the illusion?
Oh, yeah. So think about this. Admiral Byrd does his famous press conference. He's like, there's more land, there's resources, there's all this stuff, and there's, you know, there's no people to disturb, and don't go to the Amazon and cut down the forest there. No, we can go there, but don't go to Antarctica where there's no people. There's no problem. Then there's like coal and uranium, right? And then all of a sudden they go, oh, don't look over there. Look up there, the moon. We're going to the moon, right? NASA started right then, and everyone's focused on don't look over there. Look where you can't reach. Look where you have to only believe us.
Yeah.
Okay. Right now, there's supposedly a rocket, an old rocket that's orbiting that's going to hit the moon. It's going to hit the backside of the moon. You know what that means? That we don't get to see it. We have to look at what NASA shows us. Okay.
That's true.
It's the dumbest crap ever. And people just fall for this stuff left and right. It's absolute insanity.
It's the indoctrination in schools. And, you know, I was 7 years old when I questioned that. I remember this very well. That's where I kind of learned not to question, because they stopped me at the age of 7. And I remember Mrs. Williamson at my school, and I said, I just questioned that. How can the moon, how can the earth be in a globe? I go, it just doesn't make sense to me. She told me not to question back then at the age of 7. She actually took me out of the class and said, you're disrupting the class. Because I said, it doesn't make sense. It's just, the earth seems like it's flat. And I remember I was 7 years old. So the indoctrination starts so young, and they really
Apla, that's amazing. I had a story. I was in either kindergarten or first grade, and they're teaching us about gravity. Think about that. When you go to school, you got a globe in the front of the class. One of the first worksheets you take home is the orbits of the sun, moon, and planets. You know, the moon. You know, and I remember, I literally remember this sheet, and kids still get that same sheet today. Yeah. Okay. So you know, they're indoctrinated. The moon goes around the earth this way. The earth goes around the sun this way. But for some reason, when we look in the sky, they both take the exact same path. They're both the same size, right? Everything rises in the east, sets in the west, no matter where you are on the earth. But they tell you if you're in Antarctica, if you're in the south, that the stars rotate in the opposite direction. That's because if the stars are going from right to left, when I'm looking south, well, if I'm looking north, they're going from left to right. Okay. They haven't changed directions. I changed directions. Okay. So,
you got so much in your quiver.
I have so many things. I forgot my point again, what I was going to make before that. What were we talking about just before that?
No, it's just the indoctrination in schools and how we're taught.
Oh, yeah. So when I was in kindergarten or first grade, they're teaching us about gravity, and the teacher gets a bucket of water on a rope and spins it around and saying, that's gravity. Okay. And I go, I didn't know what centrifugal force was back then. I go, but doesn't the bucket have to be facing the other way, because we're on a ball that's spinning? And the teacher, I remember, he's got a big, thick beard. I forget his name. Maybe it was Ross, Mr. Ross. And he goes like this, and he goes, that's a good point. He goes, that's fine. He didn't know. He told me I could keep asking questions. He goes, but this is how I'm told to teach it. So this is how we're going to teach it.
Yeah.
And I guess that was the beginning of my flat earth journey. I didn't know it.
It is the beginning.
For many years.
Because you were inquisitive then. You're like, hold up though.
I go, it doesn't make any sense. Like, the water is on the outside of the ball. You have it on the inside of the bucket. Turn the bucket around. And he thought he couldn't come up with the answer. He goes, well, that's how we're told to teach it. And that's how I'm teaching it.
So there's a stigma that this. Sorry, Nick. Just a quick on this point about the younger generations, learning about this subject. The stigma attached to flat Earth has become somewhat, a ludicrous conspiracy. So even within this movement, Nick, I'm sure you'll agree that if there's people who claim to be awake but are afraid to approach this subject of flat Earth because we refer to as the tinfoil hats. And I haven't probably explored it literally.
That was me.
Because
it's like the previous Trump. No one wanted to come out and say they're a Trumper.
I had
flat Earth is that subject that is like people like, oh, I'd just rather not deal with that.
So I forget which Nazi said it. He said, "Give me a child, from the ages of 1 to 7, and I'll form their whole life," right? Because that's when that's when they programmed us. I dare you to go to a 7 to 10-year-old and go, "Hey, the Earth is flat." The kid will chop your head off, and he'll throw so much propaganda at you. It's unbelievable, right? Because they're so indoctrinated with this, and
David.
then you build your whole life around that. Your whole life around it. So again, just real quick, and then don't forget your point because I keep forgetting mine.
Yeah.
You build your whole life around that, and it's really hard to change. So when I had flat Earth thrown at me, I was doing all the conspiracies, all the factual investigation into reality, I'd rather call it. And I had a thing called Exposing the Big Three: New York, Boston, and Connecticut. We'll just call it that. Okay. And I figured those are the 3 easiest things to see. I'll wake people up to that, and then they'll wake up to everything else. The problem is people wake up to it and they're like, oh, yeah, well, and they just go right back to their normal life. So they're like, well, those people, there was some corruption, whatever. And they don't realize it. Then Flat Earth came in, and I'm like, this is going to discredit everything I've ever done. I'm not going to talk about this. But then when I saw it, I was like, I have to talk about this. Got a lot of heat back in 2015 for it. Now I can't find a friggin' show that doesn't think the Earth is not a globe anymore. Right. I mean, you guys signed up. I'm thrilled to be here with you guys, but
yeah.
I am so thrilled when someone writes a spinning globe in my, what do you think the Earth is? And they write a spinning globe. I'm like, let's do that show today. Because if you research it, you're going to be a flat earther before you get on the show. So it's, we're at a time of, I'm sorry for rambling, but we're at a time of awakening right now that is so easy. I mean, I was in Mexico for a few weeks, and every person that I talked to, because it always comes up somehow, weird. And they're all just like, wow. And they're jumping right on board. They're jumping right on board.
Yeah, because there's so much now to bring up to the table. People are more open now too, and they're starting to see what's going around in the world, and it's also making them more open. But also, I wanted to bring up my daughter, who's 4. Actually, she just turned 5 yesterday. She's in kindergarten, so she's learning, and she's learning about space and all that.
Oh boy! And
she was in the car the other day, and she said, "Like, we're learning about the planet." I was like, "Oh, cool! It's flat, right?" It's the first thing I just said really quick, and she looked at me. She went, "Yeah."
Cool.
I don't know. I was like, normally, because she's very stubborn, and she'd be like, "No, Dad, that's silly." She would say that. Yeah. So this is her, like, in the beginning.
What do you mean it's flat? Look, it's a ball. Look, you can't paint that. That's not you can't fake that.
It's
right?
phenomenal that they were able to create such a field of science behind the round ball to where people go to school for astronomy and whatever. And
4 years, 4 years of astronomy.
Yeah, for real.
4 years. I had access to a telescope. I loved it. It was the greatest thing ever. Astrology is so dumb, so stupid. People are so morons. And now my entire world is flipped. Astronomy is the dumbest thing ever. And astrology is the real science. It's the science of our world.
I know. It truly is. What are we looking at when we're looking at stars now? When we're looking at planets with a telescope, are we seeing a reflection off of a dome, looking at land that's outer and beyond?
Great questions. Good questions. I don't know, but I have my theories. Well, while I'm here real quick. So this is what they show us. And they admit this is made in Photoshop, but look at this here. Okay. This is a painting. What do you think is harder, to paint this with all those reflections, right? This is a painting. This is not glass. This is a painting. The entire thing is a photorealistic painting. And then NASA gives us this, and people are like, oh, that's definitely real. That's definitely real, I mean, this is the dumbest crap ever. Dumbest crap ever.
I know, right?
Dumbest crap ever. And
Could've
if you
all
look,
started in the 50s.
and they're actually really lazy because they use the same clouds. They do all sorts of dumb stuff.
Yes, the clone stamp. It's like obviously Photoshop.
Right. It's
Very
obviously Photoshop. Here is I'm trying to find the one. I have one.
Isn't it interesting how everything seems quite,
Oh, yeah.
that we have now, it's so obvious.
I remember in 2017, the news was showing this, going, global warming, global pollution. That we look how much dimmer the Earth has got since 1978, and look how similar the clouds are.
Whoa.
They use the same clouds.
Whoa,
It took the same picture, and they just cranked the levels down.
They think
We are dumb because most people believe it. Most people are like, oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah.
We are. They made us pretty damn dumb. I mean, look at what they've done with everything in the water and what they're spraying in the air. It's a massive operation to keep us dumbed down.
Desensitize us, for sure.
And as you were talking about before, where our quantum physics or whatever you want to call it, where our thoughts create our reality, that is the absolute truth. Okay. And they don't want us getting together. If enough of us get together, we're unstoppable. That's why they divide us by countries, by religions, by races, by sexes, by sports teams, politics. Divide. Right now they have us cover your faces. You don't want anybody reading any facial expressions. Stay 6 feet apart. You don't want your immediate heart fields intertwining. They don't want that. And they always knocking the population down, which might be something that they're trying to do right now. Not saying anything specific, but the whole thing is controlling our minds. The whole globe lie is to control our manifestation ability.
Absolutely.
Yes, 100%. And now the fleas now is making it more difficult for people as well.
Easy. Careful. Careful what you say. Careful what you say.
Oh, yeah, we can believe it. We can believe it.
Yeah. Okay. Just don't
Can't use that. Can't use that. Oh my God. I use that like a little loosely.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Jabberwocky.
I just heard do you listen to Anomaly?
Mm-hmm.
And he just did a short clip, and basically he pointed out all the things that you used to get thrown off of social platforms for saying are now all stated facts on the front cover of the New York Times and in all the big magazines and then CNN. These are things that you suggested they might be true. You got deplatformed, and now they're expressed as facts.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Okay? All right. And so we're not allowed to question science. Guess what? Science, by definition, is things that need to be questioned.
Yeah.
Science can, if you question it, science should be able to slam it to the ground if it's right.
Yep.
Okay. That's why Neil deGrasse Tyson, the failed actor, and Bill Nye, the lying guy with the bow tie, will never talk to us.
Yeah.
They will never talk to us directly. Let's say we don't have time for silly flat earthers, but then they'll make video after video after video straw manning us and then just saying all nonsense, right? Highly produced
look
videos.
what they've done to YouTube. If you type in flat earth on YouTube, you'll get their agenda right away. If you look at the top 5 videos, boom.
Absolutely.
Yeah. They're doing a very good job at making it look silly, but it's not working. It's growing like wildfire. People are starting to get hip to it.
Open to explore the concept.
And that's why on my app, I've bypassed all of those algorithms. If you every day there's a new video right here, click that. And then the next video that follows it, if you keep watching videos, will be videos bypassing the YouTube algorithm. Have you seen my app?
Yeah.
You've seen it.
Oh, wow.
I saw it once.
And people go to me, I get asked the same questions all the time. You just hit the question mark button and up come your questions. Hey, what about eclipses? What about gravity? Like, hey, what about when I see a ship go over the horizon? If I click that, up comes a playlist of videos that YouTube doesn't want you to see. Okay. And these will explain all of the stuff that you want to learn about.
Oh, dude,
and again, on the web button, I have all sorts of resources here. Top right. Bam. There's the war on.
Yes.
You know, when people sent me that one, the 5-hour video, man, I don't have time for a 5-hour video. And I kept getting it. And I was like, yeah, eventually I'll watch it. And one night at 11 p.m., I was like, you know what? I got a couple things to do. Let me just put it on the background. Next thing I know, it's 4 a.m. I can't go to sleep. There's no way. There's no way. Like, my whole world has changed. And I watched it. I watched it 4 times since then. So that speaks volumes.
That's on my to-do. Can't believe, I'm embarrassed to say I still haven't watched that.
Just watch the first 10 minutes. Just watch the first 10 minutes. That's all you got to do.
You won't regret it.
You won't. No, you will regret it because you won't be able to turn it off.
Yeah.
Right. You won't be able to turn
it off. It's that fun though. It really is. I cried, I think, in a few episodes where they showed the big old trees that were cut down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's so much to it. This is a new button I just added on the app. These are all of the satellites that are supposedly going around our world. Right. This is absolute. This is supposed to be real in real time. And if I turn on the space debris, this is all the space debris that's up there that they're supposedly tracking. Okay.
What?
They're tracking all of these.
Yeah, right.
This is such nonsense. It's unbelievable. And that star area, I believe, is not tracked within the last 24 hours or something like that. It's like people that believe this nonsense. I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Right. I know. And it's because it's so it built into the beginning of their existence that if they were to abandon this, they wouldn't know what to cling on to next.
Right.
But we did. I remember, I thought it was ridiculous. I had a coworker who was like showing me videos of flat earth. And I remember thinking, this is so ridiculous, but I want to know why they believe it. So I'm going to watch this whole documentary on flat earth. And then by the time I was done, I was like, oh shit, this could be real. And that opened the door.
You know, and I say this often, is the reason they're lying about the earth is because once you see that we're at the center of creation and that this place is intelligently designed, what's the only conclusion you can come up with?
There's God.
There's a creator. God, you call him God, call it whatever you want. There's a creator. I'm not pigeonholing anybody. There's an intelligent creator, and we are at the center of creation. There's some verses in the Bible that basically say, once you see my creation, you can no longer deny my existence. They want us in a position where we can lose faith in God. They want us in a position where we can deny the creator. But once people, and here's the thing, once people wake up to flat earth, it's incredible. Every single flat earther I know knows there's a creator. They're good people. They see through all the bullshit. They see through all of it. And flat earth is growing like unbelievable, right? On the app, here's the friend finder. It's just loading the dots in my area. These are the people that have the app and have logged into the friend finder. There's actually more. And the orange dots are people that have just got on in the last 2 months.
Oh, nice.
Right. So these are people everywhere. There's 286
That's so cool.
people within 50 kilometers of me. And we're using this to get together. Like I can send out a group message to all of those people in that area. Hey, I'm having a meetup at Joe's Bar and Grill Saturday, 4:00. Right. And people are getting together. People are getting
what a dope app.
People are getting married on this already. People are having babies already. People are getting jobs because guess what? Let's say you have a small business or something and you need to hire somebody. Do you want to hire a globe head or a flat earther? Of course you want to hire a flat earther. So you can go in, you can message people, you can look at their profiles now. They can say whether they're interested in work or not. They can put all sorts of stuff on there, and people are finding, here's the thing. People are using it as a dating app. Okay. Dating app, job finder app. It doesn't matter. Every single dot on there, male or female, you have more in common with that person than any dating site will ever set you up with. Mm-hmm. Every single dot on here. It's the absolute truth because you're awake and aware. I don't care about your education. If you're able to see through the programming, you're a smart person. And the job, whatever the job is, you can learn that. That's easy. You have to be a good person. You have to be local, right? Well, all of these people are local to me.
Wow.
pretty cool, right?
That is amazing. That is far out. I love this.
We're
That is a
gonna have-
huge
We're going to have
tool.
some synergy, David, very soon. Definitely. I'll be speaking to you. I've got something up my sleeve, which I'm going to
Yeah, and I'm adding to the app all the time. The app, by the way, just for those people out there, the truth should be free. Yeah, come pay my server bill monthly, okay? Right? It's going into it's going to be 5 digits soon, right? So the app is $3, and you can get the app, and that's it. You have it forever, all right? You bought me a warm beer, basically,
Awesome.
right? But if you want to be able to send messages or use the weather app, that's it. It's 99 cents a month or $11 for the year. Again, $11. What's that? A margarita with a crappy tip? Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
But again, it's
Yeah.
it's so easy. And I made it as cheap as possible. And again, it is
And it's
I don't do it.
available on Google and Apple?
It's on Apple and Android. It's just for mobile devices. It's on tablets, on iPads, on all Apple phones. You need an iPhone 6 or better, and you need Android phone operating system 8.0 or higher. Okay. Again,
Sweet.
yeah, and it's if your phone is de-Googled, it's not going to work because I use Google Maps on there. So
if you're looking for your flat earth wife or husband, you know where to go.
it's amazing, and now that people are adding profiles,
Sure you
it's
invite
really
us to the wedding.
it's working. It's also there's a funny story where 2 people in Africa were in miserable marriages, but they're both afraid to leave. Somebody did a meetup. They started a Telegram group using the app. They fell in love, and they both left their miserable lives, got married, and are having children.
Wow.
So it's a home wrecker and a homemaker all at once, a yin and the yang.
Well, look at what this movement is doing there. It's bringing, people close to their soul tribe, people who think alike together. So yeah, this movement, while it's been arduous, it's definitely led to some good cases for sure.
And the main thing, the main purpose of the app is when you're talking flat earth to somebody, you break it out, you turn on the time lapse, and you say, look, this is how the sun goes around. And they go, oh, all of a sudden it clicks. And then they ask you asked me about planets. I could hit the little image button. I could scroll down and say, well, that's Venus. Does that look like what NASA shows us?
Looks like we're looking at something through water or through a material that we don't know of.
And all of the planets used to be called wandering stars, but they're all named after gods. Okay, right? So what's that about, right?
Yeah, mysterious.
There's so much. So again, the app helps you explain flat Earth, because nothing's better than waking a friend or a stranger up to the truth of our world, because then you have a ton to talk about. Remember, I don't know what I used to talk about, other, sports, weather, politics. What else was there? Now I'm never bored, right? There's always something like I tell people, if you have people in your life that aren't flat earthers, get them the app, and every day to just watch the daily video each day, and then have a little video book club, just talk about the daily video each day, and you'll never run out of stuff to talk about. Right. Like if your significant other is not a flat earther, you're in the driver's seat, because you're never going back to the ball. But if they love you and have any bit of intelligence, they will come to the flat earth once they see it. So you just watch the video each day and go, yeah, did you see the video today? Yeah, talking about it showed the moon landing. That was ridiculous. Well, now you know the moon's fake. Boom. You go on. The boats are over the horizon, whatever it is. Gravity. Oh, that's how gravity works on a flat earth. And it really is a fantastic tool for people to wake up. If you're like a kid and you're on your parents' phone bill and you're not allowed to buy an app or anything, reach out to me. Let me know your story. I'll gift you the app for free. All right.
This would be good for Luma, Nick.
Nick froze.
Nick?
Nick froze. He froze. He's still like the earth.
Oh yeah, this happens to Nick. I think he's just in complete shock over the app.
I think he's really thinking about what I just said.
I know he's thinking that I'm going to give this to Luma, my daughter. No, this seems awesome, guys. So I will have all the details for this app on the description below. I think it's phenomenal, and your journey has just been extraordinary. David, because this is, I need to speak to you about this. Oh, there, he's disappeared. Nick's left us.
He'll come back.
It's just, oh, he's back. Nick, did David's outshock you to the core?
Yeah,
I think
you were really thinking about it. You were very still, like the earth.
Oh yeah, no, I'm on my hotspot now, but yeah, the internet sucks here.
I was just saying this would be great for Luma to start off now, young and for kids, parents watching. You know, this is a great tool to educate.
Oh, I know, big time. It might get conflicting. She might become the greatest rebel in school once she realizes, holy shit, they're lying about everything. But that's probably what we need, a bunch of warriors. And
we need kids. We need kids to wake up. But here's the thing. The train has pulled out of the station. It is going full speed now. There is no stopping it. 2015, you mentioned flat earth to somebody, you get laughed at, you get ridiculed, you get yelled at. Now you mention flat earth to somebody, they go, you know, I've heard some stuff about that. I've got a question. Can you answer? You know, and bam, bam, bam. It's coming. So anybody that's getting to flat earth now, it's literally like getting into crypto now. You're early. Yes. Everyone's early, right? Yes. Get in. You're going to lead the pack. You're going to lead the pack. Don't be the last one to get on the flat earth train, because, you know, now is the time. And I've been saying this recently, 2022, unless something crazy happens where they shut off the power or something wild like that, this is going mainstream. This is going out there. People are waking up so fast right now. And I can tell, I can see the numbers on the app. And by the way, there's so many factions of flat earth that have never heard of me or you or my app or anything. And they're out there. There's 2 podcasts in Brazil that have over 500,000 followers, and they just went flat, right, in the last month. So it's happening. Bigger and bigger people are coming in. And as soon as a couple of big people come out there, all of the other ones that have been sitting on their hands or biting their tongues, they're gonna come out too. So absolutely, it's gonna happen overnight. It's gonna be bam.
Yeah. So I just say this is going to be on BitChute, Nick's Good Lion BitChute, on his backup channel, obviously on both of my channels, Spiritual Badass Backup, and here on the Love in Action show. And David, where can they find it for you?
I will just link your show in the app.
Oh, perfect.
If you go, if I show you on the app, if I hit the web button, middle row, and then on the 4th on the top, it says DITRH interviews. You hit that and up comes interviews, and your interview will be at the top.
Nice.
That's dope.
And so these are just a few of the interviews that I've done recently. The list goes on and on. I don't think we have time. I don't think I can actually get to the bottom.
TV podcast as well, everyone. So that's www.goodlion.tv. So we'll be able to watch it, and all of the details about the app will be in the description below. So yeah, that's awesome.
Sweet. Yeah. David, question for you.
Shoot.
Where do you find people who are on the fence struggling the most? Like, I saw you on Nino's and I thought you killed it. But Nino, he's still not convinced.
Nah, he's there. He's just playing it. He's a little worried. Nino's a little bit of a pussy for a champ. Okay. All right.
That's hilarious.
He's being very careful, but
I'll knock you out,
I don't. Yeah, you know what? Let's go. Come on. His back's been hurting. I'll move around. His back will hurt. I'll trip him, and then I'll run away before he gets me.
I don't know if he has that first round in him.
To come on now.
I think he has the first round in him. I just have to stay away from the first round so he doesn't
stay away from the first round. Just run. Just run away from the first round.
Zigzags and hurts his back. That's right. That's what I got to do. You know, here's the thing. My job is really easy. My job is really hard talking to people like you, because you guys know about flat earth. It's the people that think flat earth is dumb. They go, well, what about sticks and shadows? What about sunsets? How come I can't see Mount Everest? What about seasons? I'm like, all of these things prove the earth is flat. So and again, in the frequently asked questions, those 21 questions there, it's all answered there. It's all there. I have a playlist that I usually, when I go in, when yours goes up, I'll answer comments, people that leave comments, and I'll leave a link to a playlist. I call it my crash course. And basically it's like 7 or 10 videos. And if you watch 2 of them or even one of them, you're finished. It's over. The globe is dead, right? They're some of the best videos. And the top one is A Stranger's Guide to Flat Earth 21 Questions by ODD TV, right?
Oh.
It's the top 21 questions. And then the next one, I believe, is Level by Hibbler Productions. Hibbler does great work. I'm actually doing a podcast with ODD and Hibbler. I can't believe it. Those guys called me up and like, hey, you want to do a podcast with us? I'm like, fuck yeah. Right.
That's tight. That is tight.
So
Hibbler is great.
Yeah. And again, we all do our thing. You guys are doing your thing. There's people like I was telling you before the show, the person that helps me book shows. I don't know who she is. Okay. But she's doing her thing anonymously. A lot of people want to remain anonymous. They're afraid of their jobs. They're afraid of whatever. Great. There's plenty you can do. Share Flat Earth with people any way that you can. And we're at the point now, if there was 10 flat earthers and they all wake up, 10 flat earthers wake up one person every a week. Well, in a week, we now have 11 flat earthers. Okay. But now we have hundreds of thousands of flat earthers. Well, 10 divided by 10 times 1 a week, we're getting a lot of new people. It's exponentially growing. We're hitting, this is like compound interest, where the compound interest is one of the most powerful things in the world.
Yeah.
Okay. We're at that hockey stick ramp up right now. Unless something shuts down the complete internet where we can't talk to each other, or people are worried about their next meal, where this thing is going through the roof. The controllers, the I got to come up with a better word than elite, the scumbags. Okay. They do not want this. This is the number one thing they need to suppress, because when you see this, you see through all of the magic.
Yeah.
Yep. All their power goes away. Yeah. And what's cool is everyone's doing it from an angle that is igniting and opening and awakening in each person in their own way. For example, right now, Flat Earth might be the end of an awakening journey for somebody. And by that, maybe nothing at the end of that trail surprises them anymore. Or it could have been the beginning. So, like, for example, I make a lot of films that are about exposing pedophile elites in Hollywood and DC, and then a bunch of other cool shit like escaping the simulation. But when people are waking up to that, then they're going to sit back and go, oh, shit, something that I thought was so real, like Paul McCartney, who was actually killed or who died in 1966. And who was I seeing since then? Something like a conspiracy like that shown to be true can then just open someone else up for possibilities beyond their wildest imaginings. And Flat Earth falls into there beautifully once you really start to realize it.
I would say Flat Earth is the biggest conspiracy, but it's really not. There are bigger ones, but they all relate back to Flat Earth. If you look at the Awaranon series, and the mud floods and the civilization that was here in the 1800s, far more advanced than we are now. That's huge. That's massive. If you look into a channel called When the Buildings Cried, or When the Buildings Cried, are you familiar with Jerry? And he's talking about how there's red brick buildings underneath buildings, like mountains. There's they're made for some of the mountains out there used to be red brick buildings. Okay. This is insane, right? There was he calls it the X Factor event, where the world kind of melted. Something happened. There was some massive reset. Here's something. So we look at the pyramids and we come up with the story of the Egyptians building them and stuff, when in fact they were here long before the Egyptians. There's more miraculous buildings that are buried. There's all sorts of stuff, and we don't know who built them. We don't know when they were built. The stories that we get that these buildings were built in 1 year, like the World's Fairs. You guys follow John Levy? John Levy, write that down. John, Levi. He does these 20-minute videos. You need to watch every single video he's ever done. Okay. Right. And within the last couple of weeks, he did one on the Philadelphia World Fair. Mind blowing. Right. And the whole story about how they built these things and had the fair and then knocked them down is the dumbest crap ever. Okay. But I had a thought. It's just a thought. I'm not saying this is real. God created this amazing earth and he threw down some infrastructure. Okay. He threw down, spread across the realm, amazing free energy capturing buildings and infrastructure as part of his creation.
Wow.
That's a concept, right?
I mean, it is.
It's
It
a concept. I mean,
seems more simulation theory like. I mean, yeah.
if God created this incredible realm, why not throw a few buildings up for us rather than make us figure it all out ourselves? Okay.
Makes it feel way more like a simulation in that case.
This world is a simulation. I mean, because our thoughts create our reality. How do you explain that in a real physical world? And there's so much to this, and this stuff, the more the more clarity I get in my head, the more things just start popping in, the more stuff that comes in. I keep thinking like, well, just like my app, I made it. It had the time lapse. It had this and that. And I was like, wow, I'm done. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm going to do a daily video. Wait a minute, I'm going to add this. Wait a minute, and every friggin' day I keep adding new stuff to the app. There's no end. This app is just beginning. Okay. Yeah. There's so much more to add to it, but that's the way with truth. It's like, once you start seeing things, you start seeing more and more. And for me to say flat earth is the biggest conspiracy of all, I don't think that's true. I think that there's bigger deceptions, but it all relates back to, this is where we live. This is where it happens. It all happens on the flat earth. So if you don't know where you are, you don't know where you're standing. If you think you're spinning through space, you're lost and you're not going to see anything else or very little.
Yeah. Very true. It's amazing how people think we're spinning so fast, and you look up at the sky and you see the same stars every night.
Yeah.
Come on.
Absolute insanity.
I'd love to see Jason, David together.
I've been down with Jason.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the hypersonic track sled?
No.
So this is a hypersonic sled track. Google it yourself on YouTube and you'll see this exact video. This thing goes by a Mach 8.6, okay? Mach 8.6. So just watch it. Jerry, watch it. And if you can hear the sound, it's like, whoa. It's like, it's Mach 8.6, 8.6 times the speed of sound, okay? You have to believe that we are traveling around the sun 10 times faster than that. And we're chasing the sun 100 times faster than that, okay? Right? We're spinning, forget that, that's the slow speed, faster than the speed of sound. We're orbiting 10 times faster than this, and we're chasing the sun 100 times faster than that. But then when we go outside in nature, what do we see? We see perfectly still lakes. What does this lake tell you? Nature doesn't lie, men lie. This lake tells you that this container of the water needs a container. Large bodies of water at rest lay flat. They need a container. The container is the land that's higher than the water, is not moving. Get in an airplane, a car, walk across your house with a dinner plate filled with water to the rim. Tell me how that water is going to do. Go in a car and go on a straight, perfectly smooth road, and then have the drivers take the slightest turn ever. What's going to happen to the water? The slightest turn ever.
It's all over the place.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? That nature doesn't lie. Men lie.
Wow. What's the sun?
Great question. Don't know. Okay.
What do you think it is?
So I think the sun is, well, with some things we can say about the sun, it's the light of God. Okay. I don't know what that means, but it sounds good. Right. and that it's a energetic source. Okay. The sun is not a burning ball of hydrogen, 93 million miles away. It's something here that's within the Earth system. Yep. Okay. I think that the sun, the true source of the sun, is above the sun that we see. It might be within or above the firmament. Mm-hmm. And it's being projected, for lack of a better word, into our reality. And we all see it in a position relative to our own. Wherever you are, everyone sees the sun in a different position. If you and I were standing, all three of us were 100 yards apart on the beach watching the sunset, I'm going to see the sun walking on the water right to the edge of my feet, that glare on the water. You're going to see the sun walking on the water at your feet, and you're going to see it going to your feet. And when we look at each other, we don't see each other's lines. We only see our own line. Okay? That's your personal relationship with the sun that's walking on water. I don't know. Kind of sounds, there's some similarities in the story there. But here's what made me think that the sun could be a reflection. I was in Las Vegas at a conference, and this afternoon, it was 3:30. Sorry for anyone that says it's 33. It was 3:30. I tried saying it was 3:45, but then people give me shit about that too. So it was 3:30. The sun was about 45 degrees off the horizon, and it's blazing on the right side of my face. I was having some, I don't know, have a quesadilla or something poolside, and I'm just like, I'm gonna look like one of those black and white cookies. I'm gonna be toast. I was like, maybe I need to go to the other side and face the other direction for a little while. Off to my left was the hotel, about 100 yards away, or maybe not that far. And it was giant mirrored windows. And at one point, the sun lined up with the mirror, and it was reflecting right off the mirror. And when I looked at it, it looked exactly like the sun, of course, because it's a mirror. But the heat that was coming off that mirror was intense. And I closed my eyes. I said, all right, if I didn't know that the sun was off to my right, could I tell you which one was the real sun? And I couldn't. They were exactly the same. The intensity was the same. Wow. Off of the reflection.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's perfect video showing the sun. It looks like it's inside of it, and like the sun rays that come out at angles. If the sun was so far away, it would be straight. We wouldn't be
right. I just filmed. I was filming the sun, zooming in on it, just kind of like this, and an airplane flew between me and the sun. It appeared, but and the sun's bright, of course, you know, like it could blind the light. But when it came off the edge of the disk of the sun, it left like a trail of like sun goop. I've seen other people do this. I filmed it myself. I'm like, I don't know what that means. Okay. I don't think it went through the sun, but from my point of view, it went through the same point of space. I don't think the sun, you know, when you're in a car as a kid, you're like, hey, Mom, the moon's following me. And the parents said, shut up. Moon's not following you. Right. Yeah. Well, it is following you. Okay. It is. It's following you. Like, I think the moon that we see is just above the clouds. Wait a minute. If I go up in an airplane, when I hit the moon, and I'm trying to find a quick.
Oh, nice, a video for it.
A quick thing. Where is it? And so, but the thing is, when you move left and right, the sun moves left, right. When you move up, the moon and the sun move up. It's easier to see it with the moon because you don't have to squint so much. But here we go. So when I look up, here's the moon, and it's just lighting up these clouds right here. Well, stick a whole bunch of cotton balls on the wall and try to light up just a little of them with a light 238,000 miles away across the room. The only way you can light up this little area here is bringing the light right near it.
Facts. That feels real.
And then, but if I went up to the clouds, the moon's going to move up also. When we go up, when we send balloons up, what's very interesting at 120, oops, that's not what I wanted. At 120,000 feet, this is 127,000 feet. Whoa, where did I go? I'm gone.
Yeah, on the ground.
Why aren't I here?
Speaking of moon, it's a full moon tomorrow.
That's where did I go? That's really bizarre. Did I delete? Oh, here we go. Solo camera. There I go. Back. So,
boom.
The sun is never above the balloon. It's always off to the side. It doesn't look much higher.
Right.
Okay. Now, this is 127,000 feet. When you're down on the ground, it's hard to tell because you got this cloud deck here. I don't think you see the sun that far away. It's much closer when you're down lower. But as you go up on a balloon, the sun keeps rising, but it comes to a point where it can't go much higher. And this is kind of the highest we can get balloons. Why do balloons stop here?
Right.
And why does the sun look like it's right over there? And why is this a hot spot right here if the sun is 93 million miles away?
So fascinating. It's almost like a VR experience. When you're in a virtual reality Oculus kind of thing, it can track where you are so that it presents what's around you in correlation to your height. If you're bending down, it's almost like this is programmed in a similar way.
Right.
And you see that.
Go ahead.
the rocket ship, the citizen rocket scientist who threw a GoPro on that rocket and just shot it up, and then he films it hitting what could
This
be.
one.
You're so good.
This is the Go Fast rocket. It was a Red Bull sponsored event, and it went straight up, spinning, and all of a sudden it went kerplunk. Now we noticed that right away, and then all of a sudden, like a week or two later, NASA or somebody comes out with a video saying, "Oh, there's this yo-yo spin anti-spin device that braked it." That the video never existed before. All of a sudden, it came out explaining what we were seeing. But watch this. Watch right here. What do we see? This is the moon. That's the moon. Well, what does that mean? Look at the horizon. Looks kind of flat. What does that mean? And what that means is during the time of this launch, there in Arizona, the sun was right here. The moon was all the way over here.
Wow.
Other side of the world. So if the world is a basketball, Arizona is on the top of the ball. That rocket is 1/4 of a millimeter above the basketball, and the moon is underneath the basketball. How would it see the moon?
Wow.
Boom. Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
Wow. Yeah. Right. And then the sound of it too. The sound, it sounds like it goes into water.
A plasma. I don't think it was as thick as water, right? So we had I had excuse me, I had an alleged NASA whistleblower.
You did. You had one on your show?
No, he was emailing me back and forth. And again, anybody could fake anything, but
oh yeah, right.
but hold on. I back and forth with him a whole bunch of times, and he was like, ask me any questions you want, I'll answer whatever I can. And the stuff he was saying was very believable. We'll just say that. Again, I can't prove it. And I was asking about what is the International Space Station, and because I had a tracker, and there it is, just on time, and it went across the sky, and it took like 8 minutes to cross the whole sky. You do the math, it's like, wait a minute, I'm in Connecticut. It should be over California already, and I can still see it in Connecticut, but they can't see it in California. Something's wrong. And he said, what it is there's 5 B2 bombers, not 52, B2 bombers that they re-outfitted, they re-engineered them. They made parts of them transparent with transparent paneling with wire, rebar wire, holding the shape. He goes, but at that distance, you can't see the rebar, and it's transparent. And then the whole under bottom, they light it up with LED lights that are set to the same tone as the sun. And there's 5 of them. 2 or 3 of them are based in a base in Alaska. One of them, I think it's in Russia, don't quote me on that, and one of them somewhere else. And they all take turns doing their shifts somewhere they're supposed to be. And because if you watch the viewable area of the International Space Station, it'll show you visible, then all of a sudden it's like not visible to anybody. All of a sudden, like, why isn't it visible? It should always be visible to somebody.
It's a circus.
Yeah. And so he was saying that even though NASA has the ability to go up and explore the firmament, they're forbidden to, not by aliens, they're forbidden to by upper management, that no one they're not allowed to go up there. For whatever reason. I think, isn't there something in the Bible where God says you're not allowed to take any graven images of the heavens above? Something like that. But he said what he can tell me is that you get up to about 73 miles, it becomes plasma, then it becomes thicker, then it becomes water, then it becomes solid. And that's what we call the firmament.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What is up with Elon? And does he get permissions to do what NASA can't? Is Elon aware that this is a flat Earth?
You guys are going to get an automated email from me. And if you don't, I'm going to send you this. I have a 5-minute video. Elon Musk is a fraud.
Yes, he is. Oh,
100% fraud. He did not
saw that video.
PayPal. Oh, you
saw the video.
Yeah.
We shared it. Yeah, you saw it, Alpa. It shows how completely everything that we know him for is a fraud.
100%.
From Tesla to PayPal.
He's a moron. He's a moron.
This from since I woke up, when someone who knew nothing about anything, still don't know anything about anything, but to that point, I've always thought that this guy's not for real. It's a clone. It's this whatever clone plastic, not real, planted, and just fictional stories about him. Like everyone in this movement, everything's a lie.
He sent his fucking car into space. This is the dumbest crap ever. What's that?
That's a load of crap. About Elon going into
the tires would explode. There's so many glitches where the earth glitched out and the car. None of it is. And then what happened to the rear view mirror? Like they don't want you seeing a mirror reflection of what's behind it. Okay, it's absolute insanity. Look at this. Look at this. The space station is at what height is the space? Whatever. This isn't even as high as the space station. When this was taken, they weren't nearly as high as the space station, and the space station never gets a shot of Earth like this. They get a much closer Earth, and they're higher than this. Okay?
Do you remember this?
And the bubbles, yeah, I remember this. And the scene, the rat on there's a rat on one of the.
That was something else. That was
it was around the same time.
Yeah.
It just made it like, those space bubbles. It's like they really just have a good time seeing how.
Right.
Even though
they show us, look, here's the United States, right? Where's the rest of the land? Where's the land? Right? It's just like the same reason they don't show us stars in space, because they can't. They can't. It's absolute and utter nonsense. Look, no rear view mirror because they don't want you seeing something.
For it. That's the thing.
This is horrible. This is nothing. This is ridiculous.
People really believed it, which is so.
Well, they did play David Bowie, Spaceman, whatever, and that gets to you.
Yeah, it's the emotional tugs, and they MK Ultra us from birth. Maybe just all the crazy, things they put in your body right when you're born, and
will teach you not to question. Like in my case, so I never questioned anything. All these things that I'm learning now, I'm like, I thought that as a 7-year-old. But I was so scared to even question anything at school, like history. I mean, I was all run out. Let me ask you a question. You guys ever absurd things?
You guys ever go to a bike race and any event? Of course you have. And what do they always have there? There's ambulances. They always have an ambulance in case someone gets hurt. I ran a school fair where we had an amusement company come. We always had that. One of the things we had to have there is a town ambulance, just in case something happens, of course, right? Marathon, you have an ambulance there. Yep, no matter what. How about when you slingshot a 94-year-old man into space, William Shatner, and you slam him back into Earth? William Shatner is supposedly in this. Look at this. This is like a fake shot. Okay, watch this impact. Watch that impact. Okay.
Let's show like they should have showed.
And when they get there, let me see if I have it. This is them floating around. This is done in a studio.
Yeah.
This isn't even done on a zero G plane. It's just done in a studio. But here's the one I want to show you. So when after the thing slams into the ground, I think this is the one.
It's
after it slams in the ground. So first they're showing us there's 3 parachutes here. Interesting. And then this thing slams into the ground and there's only 2 parachutes. That's weird. People say, well, the third one's hidden. Look, where's the other parachute? Okay.
Oh, good eye.
Oh, no. Actually, that one, it showed 3. There's another shot that only shows 2. It lands, right? And then no ambulance. That's the first thing you're going to do is go make sure everyone's okay. But a bunch of SpaceX, idiots show up. Let me just speed this up a little bit.
This was SpaceX doing
that. They pull up a little chair things and they come out and everyone's like, yay, high five. Look, no ambulance, no medical team, nothing. You got a 94-year-old man in there that just was overweight, bozo. And everything. Yeah, they're all Bezos nonsense, right?
It's all nefarious. These people. This is evil. This is so. This
Run by
is.
demons.
What's that?
I said we're run by demons.
I know. It's like it got hijacked so recently. I don't know how long is this.
The era of deception, devil works in disguise, and so well orchestrated. I mean, just look at
The fact,
details,
Right.
things like
the fact that there are no EMS, no doctors, no nothing, just a bunch of no-name SpaceX people.
things.
He could be. He should have a broken back at best.
And how
that
old?
landing.
90?
What's that?
How old? 94.
He's 90 something. I think he's 90. Maybe he's 94. Maybe he's 90. And remember Michael Strahan, the guy that supposedly went to space?
Yeah.
When he went up on Bezos' rocket. His quote is, "It's unreal. I want to go back." It's unreal. It's not real. I'm telling you to your face. It's unreal.
They put it out there like they got to do.
No pun intended. They've got British sense of humor.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you know, they're all perverts, right? They're all pedophile perverts. How come every time they have the dick rocket going into space, they show it doing this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It gets worse. So you see this, and then watch the next camera angle. Look at this.
Flip minute. You can't even make this shit up.
You can't make it up. It's absolute insanity.
You're right. You're right. You're right. Oh, I want to blow the lid on all these guys. This is terrible.
And if you compare Richard Branson's Virgin to the flying blue dick origin, I don't know. Is that a coincidence?
Whoa.
Is that a coincidence?
Wow. No.
And all about, you know, if you listen to Benjamin Balderson and some of the other people that really get into this stuff, the sun and the moon are literally, you know, the earth is a living organism, and the sun and the moon have to do with fertility. The moon delivers and removes souls from the earth, and it fertilizes the sun, and like it's above my pay grade, but that makes a lot of sense. And then they're making a mockery of this entire thing.
Yeah.
Yep. They certainly are.
This is really well explained, but intuitively, I've been feeling this for many years. I mean, just the symbolism, they mock us right in our faces, and people are so desensitized to even question and see through this. And I was one of them. I was just really asleep, but intuitively led, you know, like they've taken a spearhead at God consciousness. And this is what, you know, this whole great global awakening is about, for us to sort of really get in touch with our own inner divinity. This has been an opportunity for humanity. And you're right, David, it is happening exponentially. I think in the first year, we all felt despondent that, you know, wow, people waking up, and still people are seeing things through the lenses of the indoctrination and the programming. And we have to really understand that people can only meet you as far as they've met themselves. And they are unwilling, this is their soul contract, to come and to be stuck in at that level. And people who are awake now, you start losing all this fear that we have. You know, you must question everything. Have that faith and confidence within self to do so.
That's one thing I've noticed: when you wake up to flat Earth, you lose all your fear. Like, I am not afraid of anything because I see what this place is. And fear is, you know, false evidence appearing real. Okay. Yeah. Fear is, you know, that's the only thing, the only quote from any president is the only thing to fear is fear itself. That's the only real quote that I know of.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's the absolute truth. And when people, you know, I used to laugh, you know, your thoughts create your reality. Well, I got to go to work. I don't have enough money. Well, those are my thoughts. Right. Right. You know, people don't understand that the world changes. Like, the how isn't your responsibility. It's your thoughts that are your responsibility. And the world delivers in ways that you can't imagine. Like, I ended up going to Mexico for a few weeks just recently. It was a last minute decision. I met the most amazing people there. I came across this. I actually am getting one. It's a Tesla device, right? This guy that connects. He literally learned how to make it by connecting with the Akashic records, right?
Wow.
He literally.
Sounds
This. Wait till you see this thing. It's gonna blow your friggin' mind, right? I'm gonna have it at the end of March. It is incredible. And what it does is it fills your body with this negative charge. It gets all of the bad frequencies out of your body, and you literally become electric. Perhaps it is, and it unlocks your body's ability to heal. But perhaps it
well, I want that.
supercharges your thoughts. Perhaps it's making your thoughts even more powerful. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I get on this thing, I have to be careful of what I think.
100%. That's like the Stargate pyramid based off of the Russian architecture. They just basically use the same angle that they've found in all the architecture around the world. And then they put it in their own pyramid that they build. And you go under that thing and you start meditating, you get this stronger sense of ability. And so I'm sure you're going to feel that with this Tesla machine. What are we looking at? What the heck is that?
Records don't make. That sounds fascinating. Where do I sign up? You make sure that I hear about that.
Yeah, you will. We'll do it. I'll do some videos on it. I can't wait. I literally can't wait. This is the star Arcturus. It's not a burning ball, trillions of miles away. It's right here within the Earth system, right? You can see that with your naked eye. We were watching it in Mexico. It's amazing. It was flashing all these different colors. It's fascinating, right? And here's the star Capella, one of my favorites.
Wow.
Amazing. Yeah.
Now I really wonder, what are we looking at? Because it's not what they say.
It's definitely not what they say. I think that the currency of this world is souls. I don't think souls are eternal. Souls are a spark of God. We all have a soul within us, a main soul and other souls. And our journey here is just to expand the mind of the creator, is to have an experience here and not kill anybody. Okay. and that our souls come and go, and maybe perhaps the stars are the souls. Okay. Maybe the clouds are sentient in their non-physical realm that they live in. Okay. Right. What holds memory? Water holds memory, right? Water holds, a drop of water holds terabytes of information. Okay. Where are these physical meat suits with water? Without water, we can't function. Everything stops. Well, maybe the heavenly realm above us, non-physical water entities. You look at cumulus clouds, what makes them stay together with such sharp edges? And how come when they spray a chemtrail through them, they disperse into a slurry? Next time you see a big cumulus cloud day, and then they start spraying, ask yourself, is that a war going on in the heavens right above us?
Oh, brother, that's deep.
Well, you're saying so many things. I'm speechless, that I have been thinking since I was a kid. Whew.
Yeah.
I need you back on this show, David, for sure. You're awesome.